Magandang hapon sa lahat. Good afternoon. Namaste. I don't know if it's an appropriate term to use at the beginning. So I was invited to speak on alternative medicine in the Philippines. Father Dr. Jacob is my good friend from way back when. Okay. So this morning I met DG Inigo, and she spoke here this morning, and I would like to help her clarify the term because she would prepare TCIM, I think she mentioned, traditional, complementary, and integrative medicine. So for my outline, okay, for the outline presentation, about 30 or 40 minutes. So we'll be discussing this. PCIM, the systems and modalities recognized by PITAHC, about Philippine traditional medicine, because we talk of alternative medicine, PCIM, Ayurveda and Philippine healthcare, and about Philippine integrative medicine, or what we call Gamutan Filipino, okay, in the local America. So this is quite messy. But I'd like, well, if you wish to have a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, then you can freely ask the organizers about this. But, well, alternative medicine we use to be non-mainstream practice use in case of conventional medicine. This is defined by the U.S. NIH National Center for Traditional, for Complementary and Alternative Medicine, NCCAM. But now more and more, people would not like to use the term alternative. Doctors would like alternative. So we say complementary to mean alternative. This is not very it's very true to the word. But now we use complementary to mean alternative practices and goods. And of course, the integrative medicine, it's also so defined by the US NIH NCCIH, National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health. Whereas the WHO would say now traditional, complementary, and integrative medicine. The US NIH would say traditional, complementary, and integrative health, which is, I think, more politically correct. So I'd like you to concentrate on the third to the last line is again traditional, complementary, and integrative medicine. Okay, this is the term currently preferred by the WHO and our DOH PITAHC. But if you will follow developments at the WHO will use TM, traditional medicine, then introduce traditional medicine, complementary and alternative medicine to pagbigyan ng US NIH, then TNCM, traditional and complementary medicine, to refer to non-mainstream medicine. The definition is upstairs. Okay, and second to the last, what NIH used. But in the Philippines, you still hear these terms. So other terms used in the Philippines to refer to non-mainstream medicine include the Liga Franca of Mini. So please note that mananambal in Cebuano and tambalan in Waray. The root word is tambal, meaning medicine. But please note that far north, Pangasinan, mga tambal is used. So you know the geography, they're quite far. Pangasinan is quite far from Eastern Visayas and Central Visayas, but they both use the root word tambal. So it's good to study in a linguistic perspective these days. But here I like the term manluluso, please refer to the last line, which is being advocated and practiced by young physicians in the Bengue, in the Cordillera. Okay, these are our indigenous healers, so indigenous is different from traditional. So we refer to 100 indigenous groups in the Philippines. So you recognize Mombaki, maybe Babaylan. So maybe Babaylan now it's a shamanistic form of healing, but still practice, but now not very often in the South. And so differentiating indigenous, so our other traditional healers, traditional healers according to specific practice, so the shamanic, the Babaylan, manual manipulation, the hilo, and the variations in words, herbalism, the albularyo, various forms like what painkillers and they do, and holistic and preventive. So we so arrange this because if you look at language, so the ones in purple at the start and red are indigenous or local terms. No? So we can date when these terms or concepts were introduced to us. So these are almost pre-designed. While albularyo and herbalista, spiritista, medico serrano, altera, subande are Spanish. So as with the conditions, asthma, puntada, etc. And of course, spiritual healer, faith healer, massage therapist, herbalist, and in English. So for example, I know a friend in Indonesia, you would like to be called herbalist, is practice the medical armamentarium, healthcare armamentarium consists of herbs and others from nature like the plants here, manual manipulation, hilo, pagod, masahe, and spiritual healing. So Dr. Jinta a while ago emphasized the importance of the spiritual element in our healing as well as the natural, the use of natural means. So, yeah, for manual manipulation, the strokes I put here are only 5, but if we look at the listing of Dr. June De Leon, who was director of the National Commission of Culture and the Arts, he would have about more than 30 Filipino terms to refer to touch. So the ones I listed only, hardwood, lost, pindot, pisil, and piga, are the strokes of hilo, which is the PESDA, technical education, skills development authority, which is for the extensive program for hilo awareness. It's the so this is the my friend to the right from the Sia. He's quite old, 80, but in keeping with the times, instead of albularyo, he would like to be called herbalist. And of course, herbs. So this �K𝐞𝐲𝐿, well, this her words. But for her healing, she would like to link to nature. So she would use plants and animals. And affordable. Okay? There's a plan for our Shanti Ayurveda Hospital in Laguna, by the way. Creating accessible products and services. Of course, there's a plan to put up the catalog of Ayurvedic medicines. In the Philippines, in our Food and Drug Administration, there are certain Ayurvedic preparations which are registered as traditionally used herbal products. So if you're applying to be registered in the Philippines as a traditionally used herbal product, the proof that we shall show the Food and Drug Administration will be evidence of safety, quality of the product, and claim benefit according to some ancient literature. For example, Sanskrit. So for example, there's a product I know registered with the Food and Drug Administration, some 16 herbal components that they use for arthritis. Also, many traditional Chinese medicine products are registered as traditional herbal products with the Food and Drug Administration. And of course, here you see partnerships, and I'd like to inform you about MOA that was signed in 2022 between PITAHC and the National Institute of Ayurveda. So it's see where this MOA is going through. Call to action. Okay, so we all agree that Ayurveda is a tool for holistic health. The perspective that it offers together with under TCIM would be its personalized, preventive, and natural approach. And this is an opportunity to be part of the Filipino health landscape. So if we look at the list of recognized or accredited practitioners of TCIM in the Philippines, whereas we have about 1,000 for acupuncture, we have very few still for Ayurveda. So call to action is to incorporate, a personal call to action to incorporate these principles into our own life. So thank you, Father Jacob, for this input. So our, in INAM, where I am with, we introduced the term Gamutan Filipino towards the Philippine medicine system. So now, more and more, I will hear the term Chinese medicine instead of traditional Chinese medicine. So Chinese medicine to refer to the blending or integration of what is now mainstream and the rich practices and beliefs and good